This is a model kit review of the Kawasaki T-4, and it's a 1/48 scale model by Hasegawa. It's part of the Japanese Defense Air Force, and it's called the Blue Impulse. Here's a picture of the actual plane, and let's see, this is their aerobatic team. There's their picture of the finished model as well as the dimensions. Let's have a look inside. First of all, here we have our canopy. It's all fairly well molded. Some extra little pieces there in out of clear. Let's have a look at our screws. Over here, this is our fuselage. We've got some very good detail, very fine molding. All the recessed panel and rivet lines. Here's our air intake. Same for this other side here. Also all recessed panel and rivet lines. Very detailed. This is all very well molded. It's very crisp and clean. No mold lines. Here is our cockpit with some surface detail. We also have our pilot figures. And they're missing their heads. We'll need to look for those. Here's the instrument panel, fair amount of detail there. Little wheel, there are the arms, nose landing gear, and extra pieces for the cockpit. We have two of the exact same one here. We have this is the head of our pilot. We have wheels, ejection seat parts, looks like air intake turbine areas. Here's the wheel, here's our landing gear. All parts for the ejection seat. We have these little, these are actually vinyl flexible parts. We'll have to look and see what those are for. Probably for the wheels, but we'll have to make sure. This one here is the lower part of the fuselage. Also lots of fine detail here. This part's come off and it's over here. As well as this one, air intakes here. Here we have our fuel tanks and the actuators, our air ducts and wings. Looks like our flaps are going to be separate, all very nicely molded, good detail. Another fuel tank. And here's the top surface of the wing. There are our flaps. And here's our stabilizer. All very well molded, very nice and smooth. Here are our decals, and they're all very nicely printed. Let's have a look here. So this is the correction. Explains where those pieces have to go. Let's have a look at our instructions here. So over here we have our parts listing as well as the colors needed. We start off with our pilots and ejection seat, then our air intakes, exhaust. Those are all glued into the fuselage, and fuselage is then put together. Wings are put together as well as fuel tanks. Wings are put on as well as the underside of the fuselage and the stabilizers. Then we put on the landing gear, and fuel tanks go on, and door covers, and then canopy. Over here we have our painting and decal guide. And then all the different tail options, depending on who's flying. So all in all, this is a very detailed model, very well molded, and some great decals, typical Hasegawa quality, and it'll be a great build.